For more traditional alpha males, sigma males might be disconcerting since they frequently move against the flow. One could argue that their independence, elusiveness, and unpredictable nature pose a challenge to the dominant role of the alpha male. They follow their process. Disregarded social conventions and expectations a lot. Alpha males may be perplexed by this and uncertain about how to respond. Even though sigma males do not formally run for office, their existence might nevertheless lead to conflict and uncertainty. Both kinds of guys are strong and self-assured, yet they approach and behave entirely differently. These are 7 of the most typical sigma male habits that continually perplex alpha males. Number 1. They don't compete to establish their superiority. The alpha males are accustomed to assessing everyone and mentally noting who is superior to and inferior to them within the social order. They compete with each other all the time, attempting to uphold their dominance and demonstrate their value. They don't need to prove their abilities in a competition since they have confidence in their own abilities. They simply don't see the sense in competing, even though they aren't afraid of it. They have no interest in social hierarchy and don't determine their value by outshining others or moving up the success ladder at the expense of others around them. They are competing in their race, with self-fulfillment rather than other people's acclaim as the prize. Alpha males may find this absence of competition odd because they are accustomed to evaluating their success against others. They may believe these non-competitive guys aren't strong or ambitious, yet they have a quiet confidence that comes from not constantly comparing themselves to others. Alpha males find this tendency particularly disconcerting because it deviates so much from their perspective. They're used to constantly chasing the spotlight, and sigma males don't seem to care about it at all. For alphas, this might cause uncertainty and even annoyance as they question why these people don't play the game the same as everyone else. It's about inner strength and knowing good enough on their turns, not someone else's leaderboard. Number 2, they are able to remain silent. However, they can be sensed. Sometimes people assume that someone doesn't know a lot or doesn't have much to say just because they are quiet. However, that's not always the case, particularly with regard to male sigmas. They may not say much. However, that does not imply that they are ignorant or not paying attention. Actually, their quiet frequently says a lot. Male sigmas are adept watchers and listeners who can discern minute clues and nuances that others would overlook. Simply put, flaunting their knowledge is not their style. In a group, alpha males are typically the most outspoken and dominant members. They enjoy being the center of attention and making sure that their opinions are known to all. It can therefore slightly confuse them when they encounter a sigma who is not all about being ostentatious and in the limelight. Male sigmas don't feel the need to talk during quiet moments and frequently exude a serene, authoritative aura that begs for respect without the need for words. Even in a room filled with noisy and pushy alphas, their quiet confidence and strong sense of self are evident. Alpha men may not be aware of this presence, but they cannot ignore it either. Number 3. Depending on the circumstances, individuals may exhibit introversion or extroversion. Some men are difficult to categorize as introverts or extroverts because they blend in so well that it's frequently difficult to discern. You might believe they're social butterflies one moment, and then you might realize they've vanished completely. Sigma men are difficult to define and classify because they modify their tactics to fit the situation. Alpha males, who usually have a black and white perspective on social interactions, are sometimes confused by this flexibility. They see you as either gregarious and assertive or quiet and submissive. But sigmas don't follow the rules. They can transition between being introverted and extroverted according to the demands of the circumstance and are at ease in a variety of social settings. They could be joking around and engaging with everyone one moment and then retreating into their own thoughts the next. This doesn't mean they're inconsistent or fake. They simply enjoy the best of both worlds, according to what feels right at the time. Alpha males may struggle to understand this because they expect people to act the same way consistently. They may even find it unsettling when someone doesn't fit into the usual social categories, raising questions about how to influence them. The ability to cross the social spectrum with such ease is what sets these flexible individuals apart and creates a quiet air of mystery that others can't quite decode. Number 4. They can feel validated without praise. In a society where a lot of people rely on affirmation from others, compliments are frequently regarded as social currency. When someone gives them praise, they typically feel better about themselves since it validates their hard work and positive traits. But Sigma males derive their feeling of self-worth from within, not from external comments. Rather, they derive it from their own sense of achievement and value. They value their own group over the approval of the public and don't want praise to make them feel good about themselves. Alpha males find this confusing since they enjoy being recognized and appreciated and may not know how Sigma males can maintain their confidence in the face of continuous affirmation. They usually think it's strange when someone doesn't care about compliments. They may even perceive it as a lack of ambition or disinterest. But having a strong sense of self is actually indicated by not needing approval from others. The calm confidence that comes from inside and is independent of the tides of public opinion is possessed by those who are not dependent on accolades. Because they don't need praise to feel validated, Sigmas are very mysterious and often perplexing to alpha males. Number 5. They fancy names and positions don't matter to them. These are highly prized by many, especially alpha men, who view them as emblems of success and power. However, Sigma males differ in this regard, displaying no interest in titles or the status that goes along with them. Rather than aiming for fame by moving up the corporate ladder or earning fancy titles, they are content with their jobs and the independence they may offer. Their priorities are not so much the prestige that comes with a fancy title as the freedom and flexibility that come with their work. Compared to the alpha mentality, when positions and titles are everything, this is completely different. Sigmas approach their profession with a more pragmatic mindset, result and progress oriented, as opposed to pursuing status symbols. This may even give the impression that Sigmas lack motivation or ambition to alphas, who view these designations as the ultimate objective. However, the fulfillment that comes from doing what they love is far more significant to Sigma men than any title or position could ever be. They are able to remain adaptable and flexible, changing directions when necessary, without feeling constrained by a particular name or status because they are not attached to titles or positions. Freedom of choice is something that alpha males may envy, but it is a core aspect of the Sigma male mindset. Number 6. They don't need to dominate in order to lead. It's common to view dominance as a crucial quality of a leader. We're accustomed leaders who take charge and make themselves known in every circumstance. Those who possess the Sigma archetype, on the other hand, defy this conventional wisdom. Rather than trying to take over every room, they tend to lead subtly and with influence. Instead of merely speaking, they emphasize setting an example for others by motivating them through their deeds. Alphas could find this method difficult to understand. To them, being at the top of the hierarchy and forcing people to follow you out of necessity is what it means to be a leader. However, Sigma men assemble obedient followers, individuals driven by the leader's vision rather than just their position of authority. The effectiveness of Sigmas resides in their capacity to establish relationships based on mutual regard and interest rather than subservience, which may sound perplexing in settings where a clear pecking order is the norm. They embrace taking on leadership roles. They just adopt another, less ostentatious form. Loyalty and morale are frequently high under this understated leadership style. Team members feel appreciated and respected, rather than just controlled. Number 7. They are confident enough without having to boast. Alphas frequently require live attention. They want to be admired by everyone when they gaze at them. They believe that's the only way to feel significant, since they constantly display their accomplishments. They don't hesitate to flaunt their possessions, whether it's their latest technology, their elegant vehicle, or their impressive work title. They believe that in order to gain respect, they should constantly flaunt their accomplishments and strengths. In comparison, a normal Sigma male maintains quiet confidence without having to brag. He doesn't feel the constant need to measure up or surpass others, nor does he need to prove himself to anyone. The self-assurance and independence of Sigma males stem from their lack of need for outside validation. Alphas appear to need outside approval and validation to feel confident. Without it, they might question someone's self-assurance or competence. Sigma men don't need validation from others to realize they're valuable. They don't disobey the rules out of revolt. Rather, they do it because they don't think it's worthwhile to follow them religiously. Of course, this can occasionally result in confrontation with powerful people, particularly alpha men, who may perceive this nonconformity as a threat. However, being loyal to oneself is more significant to Sigma men than mindlessly adhering to antiquated conventions. This is not to say that Sigmas disregard laws and regulations. Rather, they would rather analyze and question them than blindly obey them. If you enjoyed this video, kindly hit the like button, share and subscribe for more videos.